We're gonna do a get ready with me, a little chit chatty video about 2024. I wanted to talk about this post that I saw on Twitter. If you follow astrology, you know what your moon sign is. I'm not gonna go into detail because Google will tell you better than I can. And so there was a Twitter thread posted by someone called New Mind Frame, and she said, if you're writing out your goal list for 2024, I recommend looking at your moon sign in your birth chart. It'll tell you what you need to do to make you feel genuinely happy and fulfilled so you can set your goals accordingly. Here's a thread. So she posted each sign, and you're supposed to find your moon sign. I know what mine is, it's Libra, and her suggestion is to kind of be aware of that, follow that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the Libra moon post and I'm gonna talk about each one. I got me a little drink. So it says, for someone with a Libra moon, these 10 things could contribute to their happiness and fulfillment. So I want to know what this post is telling me will contribute to my happiness and fulfillment. And in the meantime, I'm going to be doing my makeup. It's New Year's Eve, so I'm doing New Year's Eve party festive makeup. I don't know for sure what I'm wearing, but I just don't have time. I need to do my makeup and not waste time trying to figure out and put together an outfit. So here we are. First, I'm going to start by pinning my hair out of my face, just using the clip that I showed you guys in Vlogmas Day 24, I believe, because it was when I did the last minute shopping, but I got that clip from TJ Maxx. So like I said, I just have a little drink here, and I'm gonna go through this list. Okay, so first things first, I'm starting with this Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, adaptogens, and coconut water. I've never used this. I bought this the day that I went shopping, again in Vlogmas Day 24, but I didn't show because I also bought some of these for my mother and my sister, and I didn't want to ruin it in the vlog. So I'm just hydrating or rehydrating my face with this. It'll give me a nice little dewy finish. And then I'm just going in with some of my moisturizer from The Ordinary. This is the one that I use all the time. Been using this since I think earlier this year. Did I have this in Dubai? No. So I bought this maybe like over the summer. This was my first time buying it and I love it. It's affordable. It's The Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors plus HA, that's hyaluronic acid. And yeah, it's gentle enough to use on sensitive skin, even though I don't have sensitive skin, but trust me, it'll work on sensitive skin. So let's start with the first thing. Okay, so again, this says, for someone with the Libra moon, these 10 things could contribute to their happiness and fulfillment. Number 1, harmonious relationships. Building and maintaining balanced and peaceful relationships. I usually don't use primer, but I figured why not? So this is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Extremely popular primer. I just have the mini version because I don't really use primer. And the reason why I don't use primer is just because I never remember to. But today I did remember. And so we're just applying that to our entire face. If you guys ever see something come out of my nose, it's my septum piercing jewelry. I have a septum piercing and I hide it up, I flip it up, so sometimes when I'm like wiping my face or doing something, it'll fall down. It's not a booger, I promise. But anyways, harmonious relationships. I think that I maintain most of my relationships just in life. Friendships, familial relationships, romantic relationships. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I think that I do maintain them. Like, just in general, I don't tend to have falling outs with people. And I do take pride in that, so don't get me wrong there. But just in general, I think that I do maintain my relationship, so I will definitely be continuing to do that. If someone reaches out to me, I reach back out. I do sometimes initiate conversation, but speaking of that, that is something that I want to work on better, is initiating conversations and contact with the people, the friends, the family that I know and that I love. So I'm definitely going to be working on that in 2024. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do here is go in with under eye concealer. So this is a Sephora Collection Bright Future Gel Serum, and this is in the shade Pecan Pie, number 12. When I bought this, I didn't know what shade to get, so I just randomly chose it. Oh, I have something on my cheek. Oh no, it's starting to pill. Either because I hadn't used it in a while or because I mixed it with moisturizer, but it's not too bad. Back to the concealer. It's a little bit too cool tone for my liking. At the time that I did use it, I liked that cool tone under eye look on myself. I just know that moving forward, I have to be cautious about how I use it. Now, earlier I used this brush, so I have a little bit of makeup kind of sitting on top, and that's fine because it'll warm up this concealer, so that's good. The next thing before I start blending this in, it says aesthetic beauty, how fitting. It says surrounding themselves with beautiful and artistic environments. Now, as someone who As I said in, again, Vlogmas Day 24, we're referencing Vlogmas Day 24 a lot in this video, but I am a homebody as of recent, and I think part of that has to do with the changing of seasons. Part of it has to do with just where I am in life. Maybe one day I'll expand on that a bit more, but I am a homebody, I'm an introvert. I'm not mad at it, but I know I won't stay this way forever, so that's gonna be changing soon, eventually. And the way that I'm blending this concealer is just, I'm trying to get as close to my bottom lash line as possible. But just be careful, don't get any in your eye. And then we just wanna blend it so that it diffuses down. As someone who normally buys a very yellow toned concealer, this was a surprise, but then it ended up being a nice surprise. This is the concealer that I normally use and that I've been using for years. It's the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. This is in the shade Butterscotch. Now this is a yellow concealer. I'm just putting that just a little bit on top of that, and then we're gonna buff it out. No, I'm just using that to kind of make it easier to blend my foundation with that cool toned concealer. They're doing fireworks already, and he doesn't like loud noises. Okay, see, so I put that yellow toned concealer kind of midway. I didn't put it as high as I did the neutral tone one, but I blended it in that line, blended it a little bit up and a little bit down. So I still have that cool tone closer to my under eye, like right under my under eye, and then it'll fade to the more yellow toned or warm toned foundation. We're just doing the same thing over here. Because if I left that cool tone, it would look crazy, but I would put my foundation on top of it and it would look fine, but still, it would look crazy. And once I saw myself with that cool tone concealer under my eyes, I was like, I kind of like that. So there we go. We have that kind of airbrush look, which I've never had. So I am an introvert, have been an introvert for a minute now. And in 2024, I want to undo that. I don't want to remain an introvert. I do plan on getting out more often. It's time for an overhaul. I've been in this stage of my life for the past few years now, and I'm ready to take the next step. And that includes changing my environment, going to more, like this says, beautiful, artistic environments, not just staying home. For example, when I went to the High Museum during December in Vlogmas, go watch that Vlogmas video. That was amazing. I really wanted to get to the High Museum because I like going to museums. Right now I'm just using my color corrector. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Color Corrector in the shade Deep. They used to sell this on Sephora, and then about 2 months after I purchased it, I checked and it said that they don't sell it anymore. So I don't know if they have it in stock, then out of stock, or what, but maybe you can find it somewhere other than Sephora. I use this to correct the hyperpigmentation that I have around my mouth area. This is just, I just paint it on. I look like a crazy person. This is the same thing I did in my last makeup tutorial. And then what I'll also do is, because I have a few marks there, I'll just put a little bit there. And that will cancel out the darkness. Something about color theory. I'm just using my foundation brush, it's fine. Blend it out. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're putting concealer and foundation on top of that. And number 3, social interaction. Enjoying social gatherings and lighthearted conversations. That's one thing that I'm always trying to work on. I know that I'm a shy person. I've been a shy person all my life. Not really introverted, but shy, yes, all my life. And as I've gotten older, I would say around when I was like 24 or 25 is, no, I would say even before that. Yeah, I would definitely say when I was about 23 or so, I knew that like, okay, you have to make a conscious effort to make friends, because in grade school, like elementary school, middle school, high school, I always had friends, but not like huge friend groups. So when I got to college, I had a good friend group there, like a close-knit friend group. And I also had just associates and, you know, not so close friends in college. I was very, I wouldn't say I was very, I guess that is considered very social. I wasn't like the popular person in college, but I knew a lot of people. We were all very connected. It was amazing. And so when I graduated from college and I was no longer around those people, I missed having friends just, you know, at kind of a finger's touch, essentially. And so I knew, like, okay, if you want to maintain friendships and if you want to have friends, you have to make friends. And so I've always been conscious that I am a very social person. I am. I like knowing people, I like meeting people, but I like knowing people and kind of like I said earlier, maintaining friendships. Now I'm just going on top with that same Born This Way concealer. I didn't blend the red out completely. It's not gonna completely blend out. You kind of want it to sit not with the lines that you drew, but sit on top of your skin. That way it's truly covering the hyperpigmentation. And so now I put some of that yellow toned concealer back on. Not too much because we still are adding a layer of foundation. Just buff that out. And yes, it looks crazy before you put concealer or foundation on top, but it'll be fine. Number 4, romantic experiences. Engaging in romantic and loving partnerships. I'm down for it. I'm not a person who is like ever really actively looking for a romantic partner. That's just not me. It's not something that I've ever been into doing. Like, I've never been the person who always had to have a boyfriend. I wasn't the person in like grade school who had boyfriends, so I was never too pressed about romantic relationships. Have I been in romantic relationships? Yes, but I am my own person. And yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Number 5, justice and fairness. Being involved in situations where fairness and equality are prioritized. I think that's pretty much what I stand for. I think that goes without saying. I'm a fair and just person, if I do say so myself. I believe in fairness, even if it's kind of at my own expense. And that's just naturally my personality. Like, I've always been a follow the rules type of person. When I was younger, it was like called being a nerd, but I just realized that's just my personality. I like to play things by the book. I like to follow the rules because it leads to less penalties in the future. I was never a troublemaker in school. I was never a bad kid. There's nothing to say about that for me. And now I'm just using the same foundation that I showed in my last Get Ready With Me, which was my old, trusty and faithful and oxidized probably Becca Ultimate Coverage Foundation. This is discontinued. Becca is dead and gone, but she lives in my makeup bag and I'm using it until it runs out. It doesn't break my skin out. The color is fine to me. The color is a little orange, but overall it's fine. And so we are just putting that on our face. And I never put makeup on my brush and then on my forehead. I always start with like my cheeks, my chin, my nose, and then I diffuse to above my lips and I diffuse to the forehead area. But I never, ever, ever apply foundation directly to my forehead. It just looks crazy. And I know I'm not the only one who does this. This is like a very common thing. Don't put makeup on your forehead. Yeah, I'm one of those girls. Or I shouldn't say don't put makeup on your forehead, but don't put foundation on your forehead. Even when I don't put foundation on my forehead, if I'm doing my makeup, I put my powder bronzer on my forehead, and sometimes I'll put the cream contour on my forehead. Number 6, creative pursuits, indulging in creative activities, especially those involving collaboration. I think that goes without saying. My current creative output is YouTube. You guys, I can't even like put into words how happy and joyous and like fulfilled I feel by seeing my hard work pay off, making these vlogs, making these videos and posting them to YouTube and getting positive feedback. It's just insane. Like, and I know I'm a small creator. I only have 400 and something subscribers. But if there were 400 and something people in a room right now and I was at the front of the room giving a speech or talking about my life, I would be... Stage fright is not even the word. Like, that is a lot of people. 400 people is a lot. So that's how I like embrace the amount of subscribers I have, is I always think, even when I had 100 and something subscribers, I was like, if I was in a room with 100 and something people that were following my life, what I choose to share, I would be scared shitless. So 400 subscribers is just like insane in a good way, in an amazing way. And I definitely appreciate you guys for following my journey, leaving comments, liking my videos, subscribing, of course. My ongoing goal is to grow my YouTube channel. And because of you guys, I can see it happening before my eyes. So yeah, creative pursuits, YouTube 100%. And I'm liking how that's going. Okay, next thing, peace and tranquility, seeking environments that are calm and serene. I am a very, very, very peaceful, serene person. I do not argue. Of course I get upset with people, with things and all that, but if you ask anyone, I'm the level-headed person. I'm a Virgo. So I'm very level-headed, I'm very logical, I would say. And yeah, that just comes off as being very calm. So you don't have to tell me twice about anything relating to being calm or finding peace. I am peace. Right now I'm using the Fenty Beauty Matchsticks in the shade Truffle. This is the one that, it came in the trio, so it has a contour, like highlight color, and then a shimmery color. This is what I use the most out of those three. It's the contour. So this is how I start off my contour. I look at myself, and then you find where you want that contour to go. Usually start somewhere around where your sideburns would be. And so I just do that in a line. I do it a little bit higher than where I initially think I want it. And then to gauge how much I put on, I just look directly into a mirror, and then I see, can I see the contour kind of peeking through? You don't want to put it too far down. Sometimes I do that unknowingly, and then it just looks a little muddy. And then now I'm just getting my bronzer brush. Do you guys care what brushes I use? Because some of them are, most of them are Sephora, but some of them I have like e.l.f. brushes that I use. So the next thing I do is I just go back and forth. Make sure you kind of hold it. And you just want to buff that out, because you don't want a big brown, or whatever shade you use, you don't want a big line. And so you see, it's still peaking a little bit. And so now we just blend that in. And sometimes I have a habit of, when I'm doing my makeup, I'm like, oh yeah, this looks great. And then I go and take a picture and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't blend that out enough. So sometimes I like to blend more than I think I need to. And then sometimes I'll do that and I'll be like, I blended all of the makeup away. What did I do? But it's just makeup. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. I'm not a makeup artist at all. I've literally never done anyone else's makeup but my own. I'm just here to show you guys my technique. So see, I think you can still see that. I'm hoping it doesn't like look crazy on camera, but it shouldn't. The thing that I forgot to do while I had that product was go in and add some to my nose. Now, when it comes to contouring your nose, I don't do the crazy snatch. I just don't know how. I just add a little bit of shading or color to my nose. I know some people will put concealer up to their nose to contour their nose, and then some people put the dark color to contour their nose. So what I do is I just go down the sides of the bridge, not on the nostril, not in the middle, but just right down the sides of the bridge. It's never super neat, just like that. And then sometimes I'll just do a little whoop. And another thing I do sometimes is I'll put some of that here, but that gets a little tricky. So now that that's sat, usually I let it sit a little bit more so it starts to kind of melt into the skin, but that's okay. I showed this trick in my last Get Ready With Me. I just squeeze the brush, and then you just want to go, same brush, just go up and down to blend that out. And then don't forget to brush the line that you put across. And you are brushing it into that area, but you didn't put makeup in that area. I just think it looks more natural. I'm not a beat face type of person, so that works for me. And then the next thing that we want to do, I know we missed this step, but I purposely didn't do it until now. Usually I'll start with my brows, but because I was doing the face spray and the primer and everything, I kind of just skipped it. But I really need to do my eyebrows again. I don't know if you guys can see, but my brows are starting to grow back in. So they lasted about, what, 3 weeks? 3.5 weeks or so? Oh yeah, and by the way, this is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. The color is dark brown. I just brush my eyebrows up, and then I just fill in the tail And we are going to be taking quite a lot of pictures and everything. Like, it's a party, so I don't have to be super light-handed. I'm just doing the other brows, starting with the tail. Again, nothing too fancy. And then you come to the front of each brow. Lighter, but more precise. I think that's a good way to explain. I usually do put like a defined brow in the front, and then I just use my finger to buff it out. We're pretty much almost done here. I'm gonna do a very, very, very simple eye look today. So I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette that I made myself. I'm using this brown shade as my all over base. I'm gonna put a little bit of black at my line, and then I think I'm gonna go in with one of my shimmery colors. I just don't know which color. So doing that brown all over the lid. It does do something, like you see this eye versus this, and that was just by dabbing into that brown and smearing it all over my lid. But in the meantime, number 8, fashion and style, expressing themselves through fashion and personal style. That's one thing that I really miss. I was never a like fashion stylist or anything crazy like that, but I've always had an interest in fashion and style my entire life. It's just a personal interest of mine, and so I feel like I kind of fell off with that. That's one of my like things from childhood that I kind of want to tap back into. And even in adulthood, I used to enjoy getting dressed and shopping even. I'm glad I don't shop as much as I used to, but in order to let go of that shopping habit or addiction that I had, I kind of had to stop looking at it. So I think I'm past that point where I couldn't like even indulge in fashion and style and things like that. So I want to get back into that. Like, I miss it. It's just something I enjoy reading about, following, especially, you know, just looking at it on Instagram. That's nice too. So that's what I'm talking about. Nothing deep like going to fashion school or anything like that. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just going in with black and just dabbing that right along the lash line, but only halfway through the eyelid. And it's just giving me a little smoky eye, which I really like. Wait, this might be the best smoky eye I've ever done. Okay, so unfortunately my camera overheated and I'm only down to 4%, so I have to move extremely fast. I am topping my eyeshadow off. I only did the brown and black so far, but I'm topping it off just with a finger swap of one of the shades from the Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions mini eyeshadow palette. I love this palette so much. I've had it for a while now. I think I'm gonna use one of the shimmery colors. I'm gonna use this shade right here. It just looks really cute and it looks pretty festive. So I'm just doing a little finger swipe, and I'm only really using this to add a little pop of color on my lid. I'm putting my finger sideways and just boop, boop, boop. Concentrating more on the inside of my lid. And you just want to make sure you actually cover the lid with it. Don't just put it in like one spot. Made a little bit more in the corner, so I'm using the tip of my finger. There we go. Okay, so we have one eye done. Just gonna do the same thing over here. Same method. Don't forget to get in that inner corner. And then let it blend into that black. I'm usually not the biggest fan of like using my fingers to do my makeup. I feel like it's messy, but there we go. Next thing I'm gonna do is just do a little bit of a wing. Should I do a wing? Actually, I'm not gonna do a wing. Let's do a wingless New Year's makeup look. I feel like the eyeshadow is enough. So the next thing I'm gonna do is my blush then. I was trying to decide which blush I wanted to use, but I'm gonna go in with my Old Faithful NARS Dolce Vita blush. I use this all the time. This is like my everyday blush. And it looks really good with pink tones. It looks good with any tone, but with pink, it looks beautiful. So we just dab that. We're doing a heavy blush look today, so do a few dabs. And you're just going right between where that neutral tone concealer is kind of peeking through and go up. I like blush on the apples of my cheeks and a little bit on the nose. But a little bit more on the cheeks because I really wanted to show in pictures. And there we go. We have one more step and then we're out of here. So I'm lining my lips really quickly with this Sephora collection. This is Rouge Gel Lip Liner. I don't even know what color this is. Molasses 17. I line my lips with this all the time. And then I'm using my new mini sample Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. This is my first time ever using it. So let's see how it looks on me. It's a very, 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 very muted brown, pink brown. I think it's a little bit too brown for the look I'm going for. So on top of that, I'm gonna add some of my new Sephora collection Lip Last matte lipstick. This is the one that I showed in my Sephora haul last time. But this just shows up a lot more pink, and that's what I'm going for today. Concentrating it in the middle of our lips, and then blend. There we go. This is the pink that I was looking for. I love this look so far. I might need a little bit more blush. I don't know why, but I think I need more blush. Just at the high points of my cheeks. This is everything. Thank you guys so much for watching my Get Ready With Me. I'm sorry I didn't get through all of the questions. Should I continue answering them maybe in the next vlog? Tell me what your moon sign is, if you know your moon sign. If you don't know, you can just Google it. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Tell me if you like my look.